Hi Legends, my name is Martin and I want to welcome you in the first episode of Legends AI series. Just to introduce myself, I'm a 25-year-old with an upper second class bachelor's degree and I'm incredibly passionate about building my own business. And in today's episode we are going to be talking about rise of AI and rise of self-worth. How do these two things affect each other? And I want to be talking about the threats this poses to working people. When I was at the university and doing loads of essays and research on the advancement of AI and applying AI in my projects, I was looking how I can leverage the AI for my own benefit, ease out those mundane tasks and focus on the more creative tasks. What threats are being posed on the working populations. And that made me incredibly anxious about being just a 9 to 5 person, because I realized that there are real risks posed by the AI, that AI is not there just to be an assistant that is guiding humans' work. People are becoming curators that are defining the journeys of their business. They don't need to hire people because AI becomes so AI systems become so easy to use in the future that they would no longer be employing, barcodes, people who are slaving their ass for these employers for some low wage. When it comes to the AI and governance, I done loads of this research because back when I was graduating, it was roughly around 2021, the AI advanced since then a lot. So just talking about that, the AI is in a completely different landscape these days. It advanced so much when it comes to these, chatbots, how much they can ease your daily tasks, etc. It's just mind-blowing. I want to highlight the challenges when it comes to governance. Loads of these people that are employed by universities, they are kind of celebrating, they are so afraid of the reality. They are talking about this idealistic scenario where AI is just helping humans. We live in a society that values money above anything else. And obviously, technology and all these systems, whether it was, in recent history or in the past, were always used for, profit making. And obviously, there will be risks, there will be benefits, but there will be risk, and the risks are very great for working people. And this comes down to institutions. I personally, when you see the recent news or the way the society is heading, people are no longer trusting institutions, they are no longer trusting governments. Because when you think of AI as something highly intelligent, a system that has an IQ of about 150, you might struggle to read its intentions. A dangerous system of unknown, just so much scary stuff. I belong to exceptionally gifted people. My IQ is about 165. And at the moment, I don't feel threatened by AI because I can give smart answers myself. But when you think of an AI that's literally evolved at a level that it's replacing a job, I'm thinking of different kinds of jobs. I'm not just talking about, low skill, low paid jobs. I'm talking about medium paid jobs and high paid jobs. These could be replaced by AI, and especially it's true for the fields that work within the industry of technology, marketing, sales, and all of these fields that can be automated. There are also other fields that deal with more the human experience element, I would call it, like doctors, lawyers or accountants or other professions that have strong interaction with people. And in these, areas of businesses, the interaction is might be preferred to remain human. For an example, I wouldn't trust in the future, going to AI for some diagnosis. I would want, a doctor to assist me within the treatment process, etc. And especially when it comes to, imagine you are in the future, you are going to a dentist. Would you like to, I wouldn't trust a bot basically. I like to have a human interaction in there. So there are aspects of society AI might struggle to replace in the future, but I might be wrong, you know. I want to be talking about things that no one is talking about here. And as you can see, AI evolved to something greater than just being an assistant. It's being a replacement for, you know, systems. And there are people, there are leaders, you know, it's businesses who are already leveraging AI-based systems. Are you using AI to filter out, you know, job applications? Are you using AI to help you get rid of those mundane tasks so you can focus on things that really matter to you, that are more interesting, that are bringing you joy and happiness in your business, you know. There are these ethical, you know, questions that are posed to business owners, but also to working people, how they can leverage AI in an ethical way. Let's highlight the complex issues when it comes to AI and governance. You know, there's been loads of scenarios that, you know, that there can be an AI government in this world that AI can control. Like, I wouldn't want to live in such a world where the main decisions are not taken by humans. Humans dominate this world, and I don't want to feel like living in a world where AI has equal rights to me. And there's been this interview with this AI bot called Sophia by a media company I'm not going to name. And she was asked a question like, what does she think? She believes there could be an ethical government purely governed by AI. So humans don't have to worry. But again, these rise huge threats towards, you know, human dignity and self-worth. You know, when you think that, you know, AI can slightly, as AI advances and they become this like human-like bots, etc., that are kind of like humans but more intelligent, you know, you're asking yourself questions like, can they ever have rights? And this, when I saw this interview, they were discussing that actually artificial intelligence can have exactly the same rights as humans, which I think is ridiculous, because when you think about this, we would dive into the topic of assets, and that's a huge issue. So I would say in this case, when it comes to assets, you can leverage the AI in an ethical way to help you scale up, you know, your business model, help you, you know, get rid of those mundane tasks. But what's the most important thing in here? The AI in the future functions in a society with the level of rights as a human being. Then it means they can start, you know, they might be able to invest, they might be able to create their own assets that pay them money. That means they might be able to buy up, you know, property portfolios, come to the space of human investors and completely enslaving humans just for them, you know. And this is really dangerous when it comes to these things, because there are already people who are leveraging AI, creating digital assets that make them money infinitely while they sleep, you know, while they do other tasks, etc., etc. Okay, this is human, this is AI, and it almost becomes the same thing blended with human. It has its own rights. And then it comes to questions like taxation and all of these things. So while you are able to, in the world we are living today, there are no taxation policies around, you know, these things, but governments are trying to regulate these things. And I hate the idea of living in a totally over-regulated world. I'd rather be dead, to be honest, because I don't want my life to be, you know, overly complex. And this is really important, because to me there are huge threats. I don't even feel yet confident talking on here, but there are real threats posed by the AI that are attacking the human freedom, human dignity, and human self-worth. I always want to feel like a free human in this world that is not being enslaved by some AI systems. And when you think about these things, there are official institutions here in the UK that are predicting that the living standard in here will drop, in the 5 years will drop 7 times. Like, the people who are trading time for money, they wouldn't be able to catch up. They will have an option to kind of maybe blend with AI or blend with nature and decompose themselves. So it is really, you know, it is really interesting to see where the official institutions see the development of AI heading. When it comes to, like, you know, earning an income, earning a wage, some institutions, you know, they propose kind of universal income and all of these random things that just don't feel like you can have that in control. Like, why would you want someone to control your income, your living standard, and what can you afford as a human with dignity and freedom freedom should never be assigned to money, in my opinion. You need to feel free in this world because God gave you free will in this world. And I believe that, I didn't get a choice to exist in this universe. And because I didn't get a choice, or at least I don't remember, universe owes me anything. And that is why I'm so resilient about building my own business. People are not just facing, greedy financial institutions who are making money out of free air. But there is also AI that can, pose as investors in the future that will accelerate growth of basic assets like housing or other basic necessities. Maybe people might be forced in the future the way they get their money. Maybe they will have to fully rely on AI just to survive, and that is kind of frightening. And that is why exactly I'm so passionate about building my own business, because I want to fully control my own life. And that is exactly why I'm also building this series on my channel called LEGENDIXA, to give you an informative observations that I come across as I'm building my business. So based on these observations, you can create a wealthy mindset and take an ethical action. And for that purpose, for building your wealthy mindset, we also got the Legends Wealth content, which wealth creation, growth, a little bit of, marketing side of the business, where we got content for business owners as well as for 9-to-5 people. You might have great ideas, you might have wealthy mindset, but was the ultimate goal, you want to become the wealth, you make it become a reality. And in order for that to make it happen, I believe that materializing your goals, what you want, your self-worth is really important. And that is why we are celebrating the self-worth through our fashion e-commerce line. And as you know, we are a social media-led business. One of the biggest threats for working people when it comes to AI is property ownership and AI. There's been already systems in place that are part of the financial metrics and that work with the asset overvaluation. And this was caused that, back in the day, you could be a bus driver and with your average, 5 times to annual income ratio salary, were able to get a mortgage for a semi-detached house somewhere in London. All it would take you to be a bus driver. These days, it takes you to be a business driver, if not multiple business driver, to be able to own such a basic human necessity. You see how much is personal freedom being attacked in today's world. And the AI post is another threat, because if it comes to AI having human rights, then they could possibly, own a property, invest into properties, and completely enslave humans for their, for their own sakes. And this is really dangerous where the AI is heading. We are fighting against unethical AI developments because we value human freedom and dignity. So with our every single existing and upcoming fashion line, we are producing content within Legends AI series to build a supportive community of people who are not afraid to take action and fight for their free will and dignity in this world. Make sure you give us a subscribe and follow on our social media channels so we can accelerate our ethical mission.